Hey everybody, I got a new video today, a different video. I'm going to try to fix this treadmill. I've had it for about 4 years. It's a NordicTrack 1750 commercial, and it started to make a really bad droning noise, which I will show you right here. As you can see, it's really loud and it's really obnoxious, and it's definitely not good. So what I thought it was, listening to the sound, and I've had that same sound on one of my Audis, and it was the wheel bearing, so I'm going to assume that it's the bearing in the front roller, and so I'm going to show you how to fix it. So I had that noise on my treadmill, a loud droning noise, and I took out the front roller because it sounded like it was the bearings going out. So here I've got the front roller, and this side isn't making noise. It should be quiet, but if we go to this side, you can hear it's making some noise here. So I'm hoping that that is the problem. And on the bearing itself there are numbers, and you can look it up on Google and you can find somebody who sells those. Now I'm going to take them out, at least this one, and hope that that is the problem. We'll see what it sounds like after I replace it. So in order to prove that it's not the motor making the noise, I disconnected the belt, and I already took out the roller, but just to make sure, when I turn this thing on, it's going to just run the motor. So I'm going to run it at a few different speeds. So let's go into manual mode. Alright, so here's slow speed. Don't hear nothing there. Now let's crank it up to 3. Nothing. It would have made noise already. And then let's go up to 6. And nothing there sounds like that droning, so I'm gonna say it's not the motor, and I'm pretty sure it's the bearing. Alright, to take these off, you can see it's got a snap ring there, and that holds the axle in, and you have to take out the snap ring. And if you don't have snap ring pliers, I recommend you get some. They're really cheap. I got this pair at Walmart, and it's just going to make this process easier. So you take that off, take the axle out, and then you have to have a way to punch out this bearing. And I'm going to do both sides, and I'll try and show that in a minute. Alright, let's see if we can get this snap ring off. Get the prongs in the 2 holes here, and then spread out the prongs, and fail. See if we can get them in the 2 holes. And then press on this thing until they spread and then pull it off. Okay, and now we should be able to take the axle out. So let's do that. And get grease all over our hands. Okay, so here's the axle. Now you're left with this bearing on this side, and the bearing on this side. So we've got to be able to push these out from the inside. I guess I'm gonna have to use the axle, so I'll be right back. Okay, so here's the axle. So we're gonna put this back in. And we're going to try to use it to, so you can see that it's in there and it's on the edge of the bearing. So we're going to try and use this axle to push it out. At least that's the theory. So I got it about there. Maybe I'll try hitting it on the ground here with I got a rubber mallet. Okay. So, same concept here. Got it on the edge. See if I can. Okay, you gotta hit it fairly hard, and it's almost out here. I think I should be able to get it this time. Okie dokie, we got that one out. And I think it still looks okay on the end of this. But here is the bearing. I don't know if you can hear this. Sounds bad. Let's get the other one out and then replace them, and then we'll be done. So same thing, except this should be a little easier this time, I guess, since we got more movement of the. You can see the axle in there. See the hard. Whoa! I shot that thing way out. So I guess if you hit it just right, it'll come out. So now I got both bearings out. This one doesn't sound bad. So now we put the bearings back in and then put it back together, and that is it. All right, here's the old bearing over here and the new bearing over here, and if you can see, they have numbers on it. This one's 6003 RZ and this one's 6003 RS, and the properties, or the RS means, you know, a different, means different things, but they should be equivalent in size, and the inside diameter should be the same, and the width should be the same. Get my hand out of the way here. And so all we have to do is put them back in. So normally you would try to get something that presses on this outside race when you're putting it back in, and of course as a do-it-yourselfer we don't have something like that, so I'm going to try and find a socket maybe that's close, and if not I'll probably use a block of wood to try and evenly pound on it to get it back in. Alright, I've been able to find a socket that is close, that is pressing down on the steel race on the outside, because you don't want to obviously have it tapping on the inside because that'll smash up the bearing. So I'm going to try and use this to tap it in. And hopefully this is way easier than getting them out. So all you got to do is put it in here straight. And I'm going to try not to use any kind of grease or anything because I don't want it to spin around, and this has a good flat surface on it. And you got to make sure that it's sitting very centered on there. Looks like that's working. Make sure it's centered. Be careful. I got a little cockeyed here. Get this side down. So I think it's in there. I think it's evenly down. Let's try the other one. Watch your fingers. Maybe I should try to not cover up what I'm doing, but alright, I think that one's in too. Alright, and then now put the axle back in. I hope I didn't mess it up too much. Okay. You gotta make sure the bearing is down far enough where the snap ring groove is, and it looks like it's down far enough. Because obviously if it's not far enough on this side, it won't come up enough on this side, or if this one's not far, if that one's down far enough and this one isn't, then that groove is going to be hidden. Try it again and drop it, of course. Sure it's all the way down in the groove. And it's definitely in the groove. And looking the same as this one, which I didn't touch. Okay, so now we've got the new bearings in, and I'm gonna put this back in and see what it sounds like now. Hopefully the droning noise is gone. Alright, we got it put back together. See, the red bearing is the one that I replaced, or the ones I replaced. And we're gonna turn it on for the first time. Earlier you saw I tested the motor by itself and that was not making the noise. And you saw what noise it was making at the beginning, so let's see what it sounds like now. Now let's try to do the manual start. Alright, so here it's going at like 1 mile an hour. Sounds quiet, but you know, nobody really goes at 1 mile an hour, so let's bump it up to 3. And it's quiet. Looks like it was re-bearing. Now let's bump it up to 6. Let's go up to 9 just to make sure. Super quiet. Looks like we solved the issue. New bearings. So this is definitely something a handy person could do by themselves. and it, like I said, they got 10 bearings for like $10, and that's way cheaper than buying a new roller if you're out of warranty. But if you're in warranty, hopefully they would send you a new roller, but that takes forever, and obviously nobody wants to wait, so I decided to fix it myself if possible, and diagnose it and fix it myself. And it's been out of commission for like 3 days. The only thing that took the longest was waiting for the bearings, and I ordered them on Amazon and they got here in a couple of days, and that was the fastest, and that's pretty darn fast. So we do have this old 15, well, it's probably 20 years old now, Proform treadmill that works great. I put a new deck on it and new bearings in there, and it's been running great. And the only problem with this is it doesn't have iFit, so everything's manual, and isn't that why we got iFit? So we wouldn't have to do anything manually. It does it for us, and that's what I love about it, and my wife loves about it. So there we go, it's fixed. So if you have a droning noise like I showed at the beginning, check your bearings. Maybe you can fix it yourself. Till next time, thanks.